Are back, getting ready to get into this pistol round here very soon, it looks like, and we'll talk about the player matchup that we had from Fern and Stanislaw. That we'll talk about that throughout this game. But guys, I want to welcome you guys in. Thanks for watching that Alpha Draft pregame show, and here we are getting ready to start with this pistol round here. And Sabo, I'm excited for this one. Very interesting coming up here on Mirage. CT side going for Luminosity Gaming. Team Co starting on the T side. And here we go. Let's get ready to rock, Sabo. Here it goes.
Yeah, straight out of the gate. Let's take a look at how the positionings are. You're going to see Fallen, no surprise, sitting there watching mid. Even though it's pistol round, he's going to take that standard alt position, Steel and Cold. Hanging out at B with Bolts and Fur. Fur pushed up really close at, let's take a look at where he is. Looks like top of Palace, not dark, but actually top of Palace, watching for any kind of action at A site. Meanwhile, the bomb has been dropped just outside of A, with the full 5 stack working its way towards B and mid. Looks like they want to commit to some sort of a B hit. They're going to have to deal with Cold and Steel pushed up pretty close, actually. Look at the sneaky position by Cold.
This is brilliant CT play by Cold and Steel. And if they can sniff this out, they're going to call that rotation immediately. I expect them to get a few frags here. Oh, Steel. Oh, he smoked him. Oh, that's got to be frustrating for them. Now, the question is, Stanislaw is going to tell them to go through it, and they are. And they're going to eat some bullets there. Steel gets 2. Can Cold. They're not going to expect this. Cold lets him out.
Patience.
Cold. Oh, and he gets tapped by
no.
Invert. Invert rips his head off. That was a huge shot by Invert, and that makes this a possible situation for them to win now.
That's so bad. Cold just sitting there as patient as can be. Maybe a little bit too patient. It cost him his life, but look, the rotation's fully underway. Drake getting 1 shot, and then Invert found out behind Van. That's going to leave us down to a Drake versus Bolts 1v1. Bolts crosshairs looking in the wrong position. Finally finds Drake, peeks around the corner. Is he going to stick it? He's actually going to stick this. Drake walking around the corner, 2 seconds left. And then you have Bolts pushing up and taking the kill. He had no choice, Alex. Absolutely no choice.
Yeah, sticking that, I think, was the best option for him there. But nonetheless, he had to do it, and it didn't work out. And guys, I want to tell you your CSGO Lounge odds right now, according to you guys at home. The CSGO Lounge outcome is 94% Luminosity Gaming and 6% Team Coast. Now, guys, I don't know about that LG-sided, but I tend to agree that LG does have the edge. But LG does have the edge here. But, you know, Team Coast getting that pistol round, Sabo, I got to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. That was a good job. You know, what they were able to do is steal up there early was good, but not exactly ideal.
Yeah, that is unexpected, especially with Stanislaw being taken down. I mean, Stanislaw is the one who leads in pistol rounds for Team Coast here. He's taken out so quickly, and then he couldn't do anything, and yet Coast still comes out ahead. Absolutely phenomenal round. Already in round number 2, we see Drake and Drawso quickly taken down, with Coast wanting to commit to the B site. After losing all these players, you're going to see them starting to back off. But check out Fur. Fur's got a really good position at mid, and indeed, they're choosing to work their way towards mid.
Oh.
GZ75 in hand. He's looking the wrong direction. Stanislaw gets the better of him with the SMG. That's 1 kill, and now you see lots of mid aggression. Cold 0 watching, and they choose to back off. Now, do they go A or B? Stanislaw leading the way to B.
Yeah, Cold. I was playing with Cold on a CEVO-P 2 nights ago, and we digged only. And I'm telling you what, that guy is really solid with the dig. He carried us, by the way. Just want to make that note. It wasn't like I carried him. He's really solid. It was funny to talk to him, too. Really nice guy. But anyways, Cold with that dig on Caddis should be able to spot this, actually. So I guess that talk went well, but he's going to get smoked out, and they've got to be careful about this. Oh,
Nice.
Bolts does eat that round, and now this jump scout by Fallen, now it's a 2v2. Steel and Cold, they do have body armor. There's Cold with that dig, but he doesn't deliver, but he hits 1 down to 4.
Such a precarious round. It comes down to the very last second when the bomb is planted. Stanislaw is not able to find a really good position. Bomb is planted for ramp. You see Dumore hurt down to 4 health. He's already got a 2K, backs off. Stanislaw hiding behind the corner. There's nothing Steel can do. Peeks up on stairs. Stanislaw predicts that and unloads with the SMG. Ends it with a headshot, securing the round, but a costly round for Team Coast.
Very costly. They didn't want to only have 2 people survive, but that's better than none. And they do get the round there. So Team Coast getting 2 rounds starting this out. It looked like it was going to go Luminosity Gaming's way, but it just didn't happen for them.
Well, now you see Team Coast setting up for some sort of mid-aggression. A couple of grenades anticipating maybe a mid-push, but instead you see this 5-stack for Luminosity Gaming. Steel's going to start pushing up through Palace, and you see a little bit of pushing through Ramp. That flash is going to allow them to come peeking forward. Stanislaw operating as the lurk player, just holding position, not showing anything. Problem is now they realize it's probably not A. Fallen falls back to B. You see Stanislaw getting the better of Steel. It's not enough to quite sell them on the idea that, hey, they might be at A. Fallen's going to commit to the B site. Smokes are down, and here comes a B hit. Bolts in a quick rotate position. There's 1 kill. A 1-for-1 trade. Rawsoul taken down cold. That's big.
That is big. Bolts here in a 1v4. He's got a tall task, and he does go down. So there he goes. He does go down. So nice job there by Coast of getting that done, and the 3-0 start for them.
3-0. But now, Alex, I mean, this is when the game actually begins. You've got the buy coming in from Luminosity. Actually, it's kind of a broken buy. They're hoping to reset the economy of Team Coast, but just looking at their cash, you've actually got to do more with 5K, Stanislaw with 4K. Even if they end up taking this round, they're going to have to deal with a second buy from Team Coast anyway. You got a FAMAS and a shotgun. The odds are, looking at guns alone, that this is going to go in favor of Team Coast. Very surprising as the A hit is underway.
The A execute is happening here. Oh, no, Fallen. He does get him, though, so that's nice. Fallen in a really nice spot here, and it's a 3v3. This is really starting to sway towards Team Coast as they're getting aggressive on that site. Invert with that op still. He's got to be careful about Cold. Dumore throws a nice flashbang. It's going to make them fall back, and now they're in connector, Sabo. And this is a situation where the T's should have probably tried to get on the site earlier, but now they have the ability to fall back and get this bomb planted. Oh, Steel throws some fire. He's trying to hold it. No, it doesn't happen.
Wow.
Dumore, a nice 2K there to end the round. This is really nice job by Team Coast right now.
Yeah, this is completely unexpected. I mean, Coast, they have no history of success on Mirage whatsoever. They picked this map, and already they're a 4-0, winning not only the pistol round, but also, a couple of precarious rounds in between, and then the first gun round. Granted, it was kind of a broken buy for Luminosity. They couldn't do a whole lot here. Luminosity's, their money is completely broken at this point. They can't afford to buy up at all. One thing I'd point out is Team Coast doing kind of a different A execute. They did a variation of what I call the Berlin wall. It's like that Navi wall where they smoke off from stairs to triple, but then they brought the smoke like up towards Palace so they could just walk right in through the smoke screen. The strategy failed, but they still were able to walk from the site and outfrag Luminosity, which is absolutely huge. It's got to bolster the confidence for Team Coast picking up that point. And now they're going to play it very carefully. They're worried about a push, and looks like they're thinking about and committing towards some sort of a B push where Steel is pushed up in a very sneaky beacon position in Kitchen.
Yeah, that last round really was played well by Team Coast, and they've come out to a really nice start, forcing Luminosity into an eco, and Steel should be able to hear this when they come through. He gets the first one. He got 3 in a row.
Wow.
Steel, absolutely going for it. No, he doesn't get it, but the 3 there's enough to give his team the chance to do this right here. Cold holding an angle, although he does just have a deagle. That's a deagle, and that is enough to be able to do some damage on these players. And he gets the first one. It's Stanislaw on a 1v4. Stanislaw trying to fight, and no, it does not happen. Steel goes ham and gets it done.
That's absolutely insane. Steel with the 3K, CZ75 holding that close angle. I mean, that's the thing. He pushes all the way up to Kitchen. Nobody expects that. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, and that's exactly what happened. Coast got ecoed very hard. They were sailing on Cloud9 very, very confident, and this has to hurt getting ecoed like that, but they've got the cash. They've got a full buy. It's a full gun round. This is the first actual full gun round we've seen, and lots of smokes, lots of mollies in the hands of Luminosity Gaming. Let's see how this execute happens. Lining up towards mid.
Yeah, I think Luminosity really needed to win that round, and that was so huge for them to be able to do that. Fallen catches Dumore out. That's going to put him out of commission. And these 3 people playing at mid, there's a lot of smoke here on Cat. Cold trying to hold this angle. And then you see Fur here holding under balcony. Possibly going to be able to hear Stanislaw, because Stanislaw's about ready to come out and say hello. That smoke goes out. but first spots him. It's going to force Stanislav back, and now this mid push was kind of shut down there by Luminosity, and now Stanislav is going to have to go back, collect the bomb, and regroup with Invert.
Yeah, really bad situation now for Team Coast. They lost entirely too many players trying to commit to this sort of mid-push while also pushing A simultaneously. And it's down to a 2v4 situation. Okay, Invert with the op, that's great. Stanislav with an AK-47, that's fine. They've got enough grenades to make some sort of an execute happen, but no matter what, they're gonna be faced with some sort of a 2-on-2 situation initially going into the bomb site. And watch out for Fur here. First sneaking around, trying to flank out the back. If they don't exit on B site right away, it's not going to happen. There's a shot from Invert. Takes Fallen down. Opper v. Opper, and Invert, the man down in the stance, is able to take that kill. They're too slow, though, and that's Fur on the rotate, just like I called, and he shoots him right in the back. That's going to be a quick and easy 2K for Fur, making the score 2-4 and putting Luminosity economically in charge.
Yeah, that was an excellent play there by Fur, but I want to make reference to Invert. 14 Coast, he got boosted up on that box and peeked Fallen at an angle where Fallen was not looking for that, and he died simply because he wasn't expecting it. So that was a great play by Invert, didn't work out for him. So now you see a full Glock AT grenade thing, and this tells me it's a mid-push. Oh, look at those nades, he's trying to go for a touchdown. Didn't really do much to Fallen, enough to make him a one-hit headshot with anything else, with like an M4 or something, if they had an M4 there. Obviously, an AK is a one-hit headshot, but, maybe those pistols might help the pistols a little bit, but with Glocks, they're going to have a tall task ahead of them. With Dumor's the only one with armor.
That's sort of like the opposite of a ramp or a mid-rush for CT side on Mirage right there. The Hail Mary play from the perspective of the T's. And you see them setting up for some sort of an AXQ. Bolts is in the position to spot it and deal a lot of damage. Then Fur jumps up and takes the first kill. Nice. Perfect flashbangs, allowing Fur to go ahead and make lots of kills. Bolt's going to push out, and it's all over just like that. 4 and 3. Coast unable to execute on that eco and missing all those grenades into window.
Yeah, I mean, it did a little bit, but not enough. And now, Team Coast, we're going to see another full gun round here, but they don't have any money left over. They need to win this round. They're going to be forced to save again. And Luminosity can't let Coast really get many more rounds. I know Luminosity has a solid T side, Sabo, but I really don't want to see them. I don't want to see Coast for Luminosity for their sake. If this is the way that they want to win, Team Coast shouldn't be allowed to get more than 6 or 7 rounds T side for Luminosity to close this one out, in my opinion. There's Fallen, gets one on Drossel, flashes again, falls back. Now, when you get that pick mid, Sabo and Mirage, it's so critical. Because now that you get that done, all you got to do is fall back and then just kind of let him break out. But nonetheless, Cold gets aggressive and dies cat.
Yeah, that's kind of costly. All that advantage for Luminosity Gaming is traded away in an instant, giving Coast a slight advantage. And now you see Invert taking the bomb up towards B. This is bad because Steel is starting to rotate out, checking the cat corner, which leaves B completely wide open. If they're quiet and sneaky about this, Team Coast is going to be able to pop out. Fallen takes Drake down, which is a big deal. But Steel might get caught in the back. Now he sees exactly what's going on. He's going to get shut down by Stanislav. Headshot, that star player for Team Coast. Smokes are going to go down. Bombs should be planted, no problem. They're going to have to deal with 2 in mark and then Fur flanking in from behind in apps. Invert ready to deal with it.
Stanislav with 16 HP. This is going to be a tall task unless he gets the drop,
Nice.
but Invert makes it easier. Now Bolts and Fallen have to start moving, and they have to move quickly. Invert takes out Fallen, and now it's Bolts. And a 1v2.
Yeah, I love the way that they're playing Bolts here, trying to make sure that they engage from different angles every single time. This is how you do it. It's good Counter-Strike. And Coast is able to come out on top with a 3K round for Invert, which is absolutely huge at this point. Team Coast leading on T-side Mirage. And what I found very interesting about that is the fact that for a while there, we saw Mirage. It was an extremely CT-sided map, right? And then as the game progressed, they didn't make a lot of changes really to the map itself. They moved some flower pots. They opened up something at Palace, and it became a little bit more even. Not necessarily T-sided, but a little bit more even. Recently, specifically in this season, we've seen Mirage go extremely CT-sided again. And in light of that, Luminosity's in serious, serious trouble here. There's the first frag on A.
Yeah, there's a lot of flashes coming over Dumor. Can't see anything. And Drossel kills Stanislav. I wasn't watching that, but he did go down to an AK shot. And now it's a 4v4 because of that TK. Wow. That's just frustrating for them. But nonetheless, they did get the bomb down. Hopefully it doesn't affect the round. Dumore has 1 health, and Dumore is going to be playing right next to that smoke to catch that player off, but he doesn't, and now the trades are coming in. There's a lot of chaos, and now the retake is confirmed completed, and that bomb should be defused in time. So nice job there by Steel and them to work into that side. Drake, 3 kills for his team.
I was really worried about that round right there for Luminosity. Coast walks in, they had extremely good post-plant positions where everybody could kind of watch the bomb and hold on to it, but it seemed like they were holding very aggressive positions, and that allowed Luminosity to walk in there with the mindset of a T, and they just trade right into the site to the point where they were the last man standing. They had 2 alive, and they're able to get the bomb defused. Absolutely huge. We're very close to tying this thing up, and Coast put back onto an eco. Tech 9's in hand, and watch Fur with this sneaky flank. He's gonna get this.
Oh, and he's got
Oh God.
he's got 2, not 3. But then, oh.
That's money.
No, he did get 3. He did get 3. He's going for 4 right now. And he gets 4. A 4K with the auto shotty. Oh,
I can't even calculate how much money that was. That was insane.
$3,600 for just the kills.
Wow.
That's a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. So he gets the money, and he's rolling deep. Look at his money there, $62.50, and I think he's going to actually hang on to that auto shotty.
Why not?
Wow. This is just awesome. And for those of you watching, I want to thank you guys again for being here. I'm Alex AwesomeSauce Greenlee alongside Pat Sabo Flanagan. Having a great time tonight. And those of you that are watching that speak Portuguese, I do not speak Portuguese, but I will try to be as excited, and my voice inflection will be ready to rock as much as I can here. As Luminosity's got it tied here, 5-5 after that auto situation that turned into a nightmare for Coast.
That's right. You, from Brazil, root for Luminosity. Make sure you fly Azul Air.
I like that. Cold.
Hey, it was started by my old CEO. Nice shots by Cold. 5-5 is your score line if you're just joining us. That's the first map of the night. This is actually, believe it or not, Coast's map choice. Very, very strange. They started out extremely strong, but it looks like they're running out of a little bit of steam. They're 2 rounds down now, thanks to Luminosity's expert defense. And look at Dumore thinking about pushing on Steel. Steel on top of Couch. This is kind of a hot pre-fire position. They don't look in that direction. It's only going to be 1 kill. Still, he did his job, and he's got to tell that Cold that they're coming. Gets a 1, gets a 2, doesn't get the 3K. He's going to get shut down, but the rotate's already underway.
Fallen's going to go in here, I think, and just, he's going to wait for his teammate. That was probably a smarter move. Invert and a 1v2. He's already tagged down to 12. This is going to be hard, and he doesn't do it. A nice job by Cold there to get those 2 frags, because that was really important for them to be able to do that retake.
Yeah, good hold. Good hold all around. Steel got the information, set Cold up for success, and he delivered. In fact, I think he was playing with the AWP, which is very unusual. I mean, typically you see a kind of a 1 AWP setup with Luminosity Gaming in a lot of these games here with Fallen just kind of rocking it. But they're going to go with a double. Cold doing excellent work on the B side. You're going to see him re-upping with another AWP this time. So you see another double AWP setup as Team Coast forced into yet another eco with a lot of smokes on hand. They're going to do some sort of very aggressive strategy on A, but they've got a 3-stack, kind of a weird 3-stack too, with 2 in CT, who might both get smoked off instantly, and then for pushing up aggressively at this point.
I want to thank Tapson, who plays for Penta. He is our cameraman tonight, so thank you so much for that, Tapson. Bird getting 1 up close, goes down to Dumore with a deagle, and now things start to happen on this A side, but it's looking awfully rough for the terrorists in Team Coast. Flashbang by Bolts, and he's just trying to play the delay game for those players to rotate. Bolts gets 1 more. Invert trying to take that shot, not going to happen. That's Drossel in a 1v3.
Yeah, it's almost unwinnable at this point. He's able to get 1 kill, but then there's Fallen standing by with the AWP, makes the trade kill, and finally pops Drossel, shutting him down for good. 7-5 your scoreline right now. Luminosity Gaming making this look a lot more like a standard T side now, or standard CT side. Now, Coast, they're not quite down and out of it yet. If they can just get really 1 more point, 2 more points would make them extremely happy on T side. Mirage, they've proven they can do it, but they've struggled on these gun rounds. That's where it's been a real challenge for Team Coast. This time they're buying up Invert with the AWP as usual, and we see the bomb dropped Just outside of spawn, favoring B side. They might be thinking of doing something on that end. Steel consistently playing these pushed up positions. And again, you see him hugging one of these close corners. You think at some point Coast is going to figure this out and start pre-firing or nading.
Yeah, good point there, Sabo. I like that analysis, but this is going slow here. This could be what looks like could be a B split, could turn to anything, but now Fallen making some destruction at mid. A 2K already. This man is rocking it. 12 frags already, and he's doing a nice job containing. Stanislaw and Drossel are going to fall back at a side hall, and they are going to get into house. Waiting
Just
outside
visiting.
Yeah, they're just chilling. They're talking. I almost think they're like using their in-game characters to communicate, and they're just like, "Hey, you know, what do you think?" You know, that role play kind of style. And but they're gonna have a hard time getting into the site with Steel and Bolts. This is gonna be rough. And even if they trade, they're only gonna have one person alive. Steel flashbang, and he's gonna be able to. No,
What?
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it done. Invert. Oh, Cold missed that. But that's okay because he's tagged down to 28, and he gets it in midair. Cold gets it done. 2K for Fallen and Cold, both of them. And although Steel did whiff on that M4 spray, it's fine because he caused enough stress on the players for them to not be able to push.
Yeah, I thought it was all over for Team Coast with that flashbang in apartments. Wasn't quite the case over there, but Cold with that off. I mean, we talk for days about how good of an offer Fallen is. Fallen, you know, the second best offer NA, you know, just behind Skadoodle. He's absolutely amazing. Absolutely, no one's going to contest that. But man, Cold really representing you. Look at the scoreboard here. Already 11-1 and 9, doing serious work. 1 MVP in game so far, and Coast not quite out of it yet. Doing a light buy. Not really in a position to break the economy of LG. Looking for pushed up. If this smoke clears, he could be in some serious, serious trouble. Oh, the molly!
And he's going to burn. Stanislaw is going to get through that, and he does get him. Stanislaw single-handedly takes him out, and that opens it up, A-side up very quickly. They've got a scout, a Galil, and the rest of them have AKs, and they've got to hurry quickly if they're going to take this site. They do throw some smokes, and they bail. So I think that's actually a good play for them to do. They've got the advantage, a 5-4 advantage. Mirage, as you and I both know, and you know how much I love this map, but it's a map where if you play this mid-angle, you can set up so many splits. Now, Fallen clearly taking control of this, and they've won, Luminosity's won 8 of the past 9 rounds. They're really coming back into this, as we expected so, and if Luminosity can get this to a 10-5 half, it should be fairly easy for them to close this out if they win pistol.
Yeah. This is looking a lot more like the Luminosity we all know and love. Now, Fur is gone. That's going to give up mid-control. Coast is going to come pushing around the corner, but look at Bolts. Firing away with the M4 silence, no less, which is a little odd. Fallen also going to take Drake down. But they're able to step into sight. Bolt's not quite out of it yet. Finally going to get shut down, but he bought just enough time for Steel and Cold to come rotating in. The bomb does go down at the very last possible second. And 2v2 on the retake. Drossel's kill absolutely huge, leaving Cold all alone. Kind of predictably coming out of jungle here. And let's see what happens.
Cold changing his skin on that op. I don't understand that. He might have thought it was a different gun nonetheless. He does do that. Cold spots that player lower, but he knows Stanislaw is not going to peek this. He needs to run away from this unless he's going to go right now, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to bail, as he should, but a nice headshot through that pixel there. Cold playing this very smart. You know, in this situation, it's unfortunate for him, but he played this the right way in this situation because he knows Stanislaw is not going to peek.
Team Coast doing a really nice job. I'm glad to see them get another point on the board, and they're in a good position to get another one. You see Luminosity Gaming, their money is not quite where they want it. They've got one FAMAS on Steel, sacrificing a gun in order to get all the grenades and smokes down. This is one of those maps that you really rely on. A lot of delayed tactics, lots of smokes, mollies coming in hand, really on both sides. That's what I like so much about Mirage. And Luminosity in just good position. Lots of nades coming down. You see Cold getting smoked off right there, and that's going to allow for mid-control for Stanislaw and Drossel. Watch for Fur. Gets shut down.
Well, he does some damage and does spot the bomb, so I guess that's critical news. But for not getting a trade there, that's got to be frustrating. Or at least not getting a kill. He got killed, so it wasn't really a trade out. But they know where the bomb is, and so now Coast has to kind of reconsider what they're doing. Now, they've got Drake in a decent spot and Drossel at mid to kind of cover some things, but if they're going to do this A hit, they've got to worry about Cold on Cat to cover the connector push, and Bolt's close to A lower, and Fallen on a good spot on triple with that AWP or op. I call it both ways. Some people say AWP, some people say op. I'd say both of them to try to be happy. So, nonetheless, Fallen covering connector, and if he spots this head of that player, and he's not going to, I think they're going to boost. They are going to boost into window, Sabo. This could be a weird split tactic at A.
Yeah, but Bolts is in such a good position to stop the ramp push. He's holding very close. Is able to get two more, and then because Fur heard invert, he gets the 2K, shutting invert down, and now it's just up to the connector push. That's not going to happen to Fallen. Bolts now both focused on jungle and connector, predictably so, and that's going to be a round and a half in favor of Luminosity Gaming, 9-6. And there you see your Alpha Draft halftime report. And you know what, Alex? One thing that I'm very happy to see, last week Stanislaw really struggled in his matchup. This time he is leading on Team Coast, so that's absolutely huge.
Yeah, Stanislaw is a good player. I think you got to have a lot of respect for that player right there. He's a good player, a lot of poise in his play. It's hard to be carrying like that. I mean, I don't know about carrying, but it's hard to be fragging like that. I wouldn't say it's carry, but it's hard to frag like that and be the IGL. So for him to do that is like even a tier above somebody doing that, and yeah, just really nice play. But now LG here, coming out of the gate, they got Fur at mid, and here we go, the second half of Mirage. So Luminosity 9, Team Coast 6 on that T side, really nice. Dumore playing this passive angle in the B. They're going to give them B side. Dumore's going to have to make a play. He's not able to do it, and that gives B side to them. Stanislaw takes Fur out though, so that was nice. So now it's a 4v4.
And you can see the retake underway. Invert with a single one-tap, taking Bolts out of the picture very quickly. That was nice. You saw Team Coast expecting something at A side. They're completely wrong, doing a nice job on the retake, but Steel walks into market, just dominating the play. Stanislaw now, look at the way the situation is. Stanislaw is now on the bomb site, gets a single one, puts it into a 1v1 situation. Can he win? Not meant to be. Steel gets the better of Stanislaw, despite Stan's 2K. That was extremely, extremely close. Coast almost got the defuse if he had just won that final 1v1, but he was just too hurt.
Stanislaw's flick on that player, and yes, I'm watching this at, at 64 ticks a second. But oh my, that flick onto that, I forgot who the player he killed because I was so enamored by the flick. But he flicked to his head and shot him in the head. That was a beautiful shot by Stanislaw. But nonetheless, Luminosity wins the round, and they're going to be able to spot this. They got 4 players on Cats. I don't really see this very often. But Fallen takes one of them out.
Fallen? What?
Yeah, Coast is saying the same thing. Like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
That gives a lot of information to Cold, and Cold is going to try to push in and control connector. He gets Stanislaw, so now they just got to cover the cat push. This should be an easy round for Luminosity.
Yeah, Coast, I mean, last round we saw them stick lots. I think it was 4 players on A site. This time around, they end up putting 4 players heavily stacked on the B site. And Fallen, I don't know how that even happened. He just kind of peeks around the corner and takes a single kill. I mean, odds are he should have been completely wrecked. Everybody should have been wrecked in apartments had they chosen to commit to it. But you see the full rotation, apps all the way T spawn into A. Cold gets the initial pick, trying to play some sort of alert position. And there you go. Luminosity making it look absolutely easy peasy. And we're going to be on one more light buy SMGs. Coast on their final eco before they start buying some guns. They need to make something happen, though, because the score differential is getting a little bit out of hand.
Good point there, Sabo. Team Coast want to try to pick this round up, but it's going to be even harder now that Invert goes down. They got 2 players playing at CT. Dumore and Stanislaw are left on that A site with Drake in the site, though, so that's not bad, but they've got to be careful. These players are going to be coming from all angles. Bolts.
Oh, no.
He should spot Drake down there, but he doesn't. But Drake's the only one there.
The aggression is real. I mean, look at Luminosity. Walking in, they take B site. They're not happy to just sit there and hold on to B site. They push all the way out beyond market, all the way into A site, and pinch off these A players, fragging out completely. That's more of a moral victory for Luminosity Gaming. I mean, it's a round that they were expected to win, but by just destroying Team Coast in 2 rounds like that, it's gotta hurt. Coast 6-12. They're now 6 points behind, and they're gonna buy up. They need to do something absolutely huge. You're seeing a standard setup, 2B, 3A. They're leaving mid wide open, but it doesn't matter. Luminosity seems determined to do some sort of a smoke strat at A. They're set up, taking positions, and you see the camera sweep around. Let's see where these smokes land and how are they going to do it.
That is the question. Taps with a nice angle for us there on that smoke hit. There's a lot of smoke coming in here. Fire. It's just a fire party on A side. What's going to happen? Drossel gets 1, gets 2, and Colt comes in, gets traded out there, and now it's Bolts.
Wow.
And a 1v3 with that MAC-10 coming through, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Bolts, he's looking a little scared at this point. Chucks a molly towards Dark. Probably a good choice. I mean, it's one of those obvious positions for somebody to be hiding. Unfortunately, nobody there, nobody home. Bolts watching the corner, hoping Invert peeks him. If he drops, he's going to make noise, and he's going to get wrecked real fast. I think he saw the back of the Invert's leg. Drops down. He's down to 12. And overwhelming. I don't know how he's able to take Drake down, but he does. Doesn't matter, though. Coast picking up the point. And Alex, you know, one thing that I think is actually happening here, and one of the reasons why I think Coast might have picked this map, Luminosity Gaming, under the name of Keyed Stars, is famous for inventing, like, the major 5 smoke strategy, T-side.
Yes.
They take, I mean, the Mirage is kind of their map. Coast may have spent a lot of time studying and learning the Keyed Stars playstyle, and they may feel very confident playing against them because maybe they've mirrored some of Keyed Stars' original strategies, and they're prepared for this type of attack. They're prepared to defend against it. And there you go, an instant 3 kills. Drossel with the 2K. Drake taking down another one, and Luminosity looking scared.
Yeah, they've got to be a little upset there. And now Luminosity's in a situation where they've got Fallen in a 1v5. Great player, but it's going to be pretty hard for him to be able to pull this off. Because they have the ability to know both sides of the map, and they gave up mid control. And I think by doing this is a little theory here, I think by doing this, they're funneling him to have to pick a site. And regardless if he gets one, there's no way he's going to be able to get these kills. And if he gets an ace on this round, I will cry from here. I don't know. I would cry. I'm not saying Fallen doesn't do this, and he doesn't have a chance, and he doesn't anyway because Invert spots him. But, you know, there it is there. So Team Coast gets 2 rounds in a row, and this should force Luminosity to make a decision, and they do decide to buy. So they do buy on this round. Makes sense. They could have saved, but instead they buy.
Yeah, they've got a few rounds that they can throw away. I don't think that they're expecting Coast to be low on cash at this point. I think they're just kind of going for it. They've got a decent amount of weapons. They got a decent amount of smoke to do some sort of an execute. You see instant mid-aggression, and Steel also doing something, exchanging fire at B. Almost gets taken down. He's going to back off. He doesn't want any of that. Smokes are down. Drossel playing the edge of smoke in connector, wanting to push forward, get any kind of information. And I'm thinking we're going to see some sort of a split on A with Fallen lurking in Palace.
Luminosity playing this very slow. They've got that smoke down there in window. It's going to force Invert back into shop or market. Different people call it different things. I'm going to call it shop tonight. And Bolts and Fallen working that A site, trying to get some information once they get across there. Drossel having to cover 2 angles here. This is a frustrating thing for him because he's got connector to worry about, and he has to cover Palace because Drake's in a position to cover lower, but here comes the A split. Fur's going to get in the window room. Steel, here they come. So Fur gets a nice entry. Fallen gets a nice one too. And so it's looking decent, but some of these players are tagged pretty heavily. Invert with a nice op kill there. Fallen, oh, that was a nice job, Coast. Really pulling some rounds together here. That's going to force Luminosity to save.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm always the one rooting for the underdog. I like to see upsets happen, and Coast doing a fine job of that. The A site went down very quickly. It was a textbook, beautiful execution, pinching off Coast at A site. but the rotation happened entirely too quickly, and that was all Invert coming in from jungle, catching Luminosity off guard with the 2K, and then his teammate backing him up. Absolutely beautiful. 12-9, Coast not quite out of it yet. Keep in mind, this is a CT-sided map. We forced Luminosity now into a Tech 9 buy, and they're not going to do any kind of crazy rush strategies. Instead, they toss smokes, they take mid effectively, and watch for Drossel. He could come up absolutely huge if Fur peeks the corner the wrong way.
Yeah, he's going to spray. He just spot one of those players. Drossel, Stanislaw, and they were working on controlling this. Stanislaw's already got 2. He's got 3. Stanislaw from Cat. The smoke doesn't do anything to him, and he gets 3.
Yeah, Stanislaw. I mean, this is the Stanislaw we wanted to see last week. He's already got a 3K, 100% health. He can absolutely do more. And you see, yeah, Luminosity game taking the A side. They have control of A side, but they can't do anything because it's being watched so heavily. Dumore might be confused. No, he's rotating back through CT. Bolt walks into the A side. Seal stuck in the corner, just hoping to play some head games with Invert. Invert's got the angle. And really, it's up to Bolts to score these kills, and he's doing it. He's already up to 3K. Bolts, you just kill the whole team, then I'll plant. There he goes. Finally, Bolts is down, and it's a 2v1. Not meant to be. Invert finally gets aggressive, peeks the corner. He knew Steel was there the entire time. He said, you know what, you don't want to peek the corner? I'll do it for you, and I'll make your day.
Stanislaw ends the round with a 4K, a huge round for Team Coast, but do not count out Luminosity Gaming. For all of you watching, we know what this team's capable of, but Team Coast is putting up some good numbers against them. What's the plan for Luminosity right now? They've got Cold with a Tech 9, everybody else with AKs. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen here for Team Coast on the CT side and Luminosity on T side. They've got 2 rounds up on them, but they need to do something right now.
Notice how Coast is like completely giving up mid control every single time. It hasn't cost them too much yet, but Fur taking Invert down very quickly, and now you're going to see a very aggressive B hit. Stanislaw and Dumore both holding position, and you see Stanislaw and Dumore both getting a two kills very, very quickly. Fur finally drops Stan. He's the hard carry for the team. Dumore all alone, shaking in his boots. Doesn't have intel.
Yeah, just started to spray a little bit early there, Sabo. That's okay, though. It's a 3v2, doable for Drossel and Drake based on their positioning, but they're going to have to be careful, and Fallen's going to have to get this bomb down. Drossel goes down. Now it's a 2v2, Sabo. This is the round that Luminosity needs so badly.
Oh.
Fallen gets that one, and now it's a 2v1. Drossel, thunder booting. It isn't going to happen. He goes down. Fur ends the round with a 3K. Good B defense by Team Coast. A lot of props to Stanislaw. I believe that was Drossel on B site. I can't remember. There's so many Ds. Drossel, Drake, Dumore. I forgot who else it was. But on B site, him and Stanislaw. Yeah, and Apps. They were doing a very nice job containing that push from Luminosity. But Luminosity just started picking them apart. And so it did come their way.
Yeah, but you saw that all that aggression, like peeking the bomb planter. You've got to know that your position's been given up, and that you're going to be spotted by the other player. By peeking and trying to take the bomb planter while he's planting the bomb, he kind of gave that round up. So that was kind of bad on Drossel. It was almost unwinnable, but he might have been able to do something. Now you see an instant A execute going on rather poorly for Luminosity. They're going to be able to get the bomb plant, but it's going to be a 1v2 situation with Stanislaw and Dumore. And we know how well Stanislaw can frag. He's already got, what, 21K so far. Cold taking kind of a weird position. This might pay off for him.
Cold has the ability to do this. This is an off-angle team. They're not going to expect this. Cold gets in and gets the other one. Cold going off with cold ice in his veins, and he does it. Ends the round with a 3K, and his positioning there was so solid.
That was a little weird. Yeah, he pushes up really close to CT. It's an angle that you don't really expect anybody to be in. And then he took so much aggression, takes Stanislaw down instantly. I think that was very important because Stanislaw is such a solid, such a good player. Once he's out of the picture, he knows he's got the upper hand. He can outshoot, he can outfrag from that point on, and winds the round down with a 2K. 14-10, Team Coast. They're forced into a save situation very bad, which means they're playing for the tie and for the overtime. very bad for them. It is still winnable. You see them biasing the A site. Might be the right choice because it looks like it might be some sort of a three-man execute, and instantly you see 3 go down. And Invert hanging around by Ninja. He's going to get shut down quickly, too. And that leaves Dumore all alone. Bomb goes down, and all he's got is a P250. Good luck.
Doesn't work out for him. 2 of these players for Luminosity on 1 HP. And those are the players that got a 3K and a 2K. So that was interesting nonetheless. But then you can see right there, Bolts with 26. Stanislaw 21. Dumore only with 9. For Team Coast, and Team Coast, it's do or die.
Yeah, Coast buying up pretty well, but the problem is they've all got smokes. They're able to hold them off with smokes. They don't have a whole lot of mollies. So as far as delay tactics are concerned, not going to happen. You see heavy mid aggression, but Luminosity this round not taking mid control. Drake and Stanislaw are going to work their way towards B. That might be the right choice. If the footsteps were heard, which they might have been. You see Fallen moving backward. I think Luminosity, they're thinking about possibly moving back. No, they're committing. Smokes go down, and it is going to be some sort of a B execute where 3 are in position. Could be huge. The bomb goes underpass.
Yeah, nice fake strat there thrown. And it does force some nades to be expelled there by Team Coast, but they're ripping them apart. It's Drake and Stanislaw. Now Stanislaw left. And a 1v3. If you had one guy on this team you'd want, it'd be this young man right here, Stanislaw spot. And it doesn't happen. Luminosity closes it out 16-10. Nice effort there by Team Coast to really make this an interesting game and not a total blowout. Team Coast, a good showing against Luminosity on Mirage.
Yeah, I was deeply impressed by Team Coast, especially early on. Like they had so much momentum going forward, and then they even did very well on CT side once they won that first gun round and carried on just a little bit of momentum. And being the kind of person who likes to root for the underdog, likes to see the underdog do well. I was a believer for a little while there. Stanislaw back in true form, carrying the team. Draw Soul doing well, which is nice. Invert too, but Drake was falling behind. And here's the thing, man. When I look at Team Coast, I think of it like a tripod. They're held up by 3 pillars. It's going to be Stanislaw who carries most of the weight, and then you've got Invert and Drake. And if you sweep one of those legs, the whole table is going to fall down. And I think they were able to take Drake largely out of the equation. One of the heavy carries is out of the picture, and the whole team kind of toppled over. Nonetheless, they got to be happy with themselves taking 10 rounds off of Luminosity Gaming. That was Coast's pick, though, Mirage. Next up, we're going to have Dust 2, kind of an odd pick for Luminosity.
Yeah, a lot of props there for them. I mean, got to give them a lot of respect for that. But now they've got to play Dust 2, and they have not won on Dust 2 all season. They've played twice. They've lost twice. Luminosity's played 3 times this season on Dust 2, and guess how many times they've won at Dust 2? Just take a guess.
I'm guessing every time.
Every time. So they banned it 5 times this season and picked it 3 times. So I guess this is a map they felt like it was down, like we talked about, it was down to Cobbler Dust 2. They picked Dust 2. I feel like they feel like this is their chance to really flex a little bit more on Luminosity and do some work.
You know what's worse? Coast, not only have they lost on Dust 2 every single time in CEVO, they played it one other time. That was in the iBuyPower Invitational. They played up against Team Conquest, and they lost that one too. Now, I will say in favor of Team Coast, they did take them into overtime. It was 20-22 scoreline, which is impressive. I mean, it's a little bit of hope right there going into iBuyPower. Major event, lots of money. Well, not quite a major, but, big event, lots of money on the line. They took Conquest 20-22. Okay, that's something. Conquest has been a delightfully surprisingly good team this season. They might have a little confidence, but then you look at their record going forward. They face Complexity on Dust 2, a team that, I don't know, is maybe more equal to them than somebody like Conquest, and they get wrecked 2-16. So I don't know. This could get really ugly really fast for Team Coast. We'll see what they've got in store.
Yeah, it could, Sabo. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and step on and do a commercial, and we'll be back for Team Coast versus Luminosity. We'll be right back. And that, we are back. Here we go. It's Luminosity Gaming versus Team Coast. I'm Alex AwesomeSauce Greenlee alongside Pat Sabo Flanagan. And
hi,
here
Alex.
we go. Hello. It's time to rock. Team Coast falling 10-16 to Luminosity, but a good showing for Team Coast on Mirage as they got the first several rounds on that map. And now Fur at lower B in the tunnels, in the lower tunnels. And this would be huge if he could spot these players.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be expecting for it to be pushed up quite this close. 2 more peeks around the corner. Check this. Everybody whips their shots, and Invert ends up coming up big, taking Fur down. Steel is also shut down by Stanislaw. Absolutely huge. Look at Team Coast. They're not going to get overconfident, though. They're going to back off, hang out of their position. Stanislaw gets a little bit aggressive, pushing up towards Cat. He gets spotted by Fallen. You see another kill coming in from Drake. And the entire team sets up for a major ace split. Fallen doesn't know what to do, gets peeked around the corner. Ace site falls cold, all alone with a USP in B site, dealing with Stanislaw, watching the angle.
This is probably going to go the way of Team Coast, unless Cold with 1 health can do the unthinkable and ace it with 1 health. Spots Drossel. He knows he's in dire straits here. He's got to make a move, and this is frustrating for him.
Yeah, there's really nothing he can do. 1 health. Kind of has to... Well, actually, he doesn't have to die. He's got armor, which is worth saving. Such a scary situation, because all he has to do is get sneezed on to get shut down. Coast. This is what? The second pistol round they've won. They actually did not win the initial T-side pistol round on Mirage. That's pretty huge going up against Luminosity Gaming, but it's not a huge surprise because you do have players like Stanislaw who have like one of the highest pistol round ratings within the entirety of CEVO alone. I think he's got like a 1.9 HLTV pistol round rating. Didn't come up big this time, but I think his skill is kind of rubbing off on the team. Big gambit for A, but Fur and Bolt's pushing up quickly. Fur going to get the first pick with the CZ. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that is big. That makes it a 4v5 situation for Drossel, Dumore, Invert, and Stanislaw trying to figure out what they can do. With 3 players stacked at long A, if what is going to happen right now looks like it is,
What's
it looks
Steel
like
doing?
Team Coast... And, oh, Steel's flanking. Oh, they know this is happening. Fur is going to be expecting this, I think. Bolts and Fur are setting up for this with Fallen.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they know. They know this is going to happen. There's 1. There's 2. Fur does the job, and now it's Invert in a 1v4, and it's not going to happen. They read that so well with their aggression.
Wow. That was Steel. I mean, okay. He might not have come out absolutely huge, but Steel pushing all the way forward, gets all the information in the world. They've got to be sitting at long A doors, which means that your long A players are not going to start rotating back, checking other locations. They're just going to hold on to that position, saying, come on and push me. And Steel comes walking all the way around the map in to get him from behind. Coast had absolutely no chance because they gave up all that map control.
It's a very good point there. Sabo, Stanislaw, everybody with Tech 9s, except 2 Deagles on Invert and Dumore, respectively. And Fur again wants this auto, and he gets the auto shot and kill. So nice job there. It seems like he really likes that.
He does. He's scoring a lot of money for his team. That's for sure. Got the first kill, opening pick. Coast got, two Tech 9s in hand. They've got 1 smoke, 1 flash, so they can make something happen. Problem is the team really has to bunch up and get together. You're going to start pushing down mid. Once that smoke wears off, Bolt can spot him, gets 2K with the SMG, and the fire just might seal the deal. Gets another one with an SMG, and I think he knows exactly where Drossel is.
Yeah, Drossel's going to have to do the unthinkable. Ace with a Tech 9. Could he do it? And he gets 1, but he goes down. So there's the round for Luminosity. 4 survived there for Luminosity. In the last round, 4 survived as well. So they're set up really nice here.
Yeah, Luminosity's rich at this point. In part thanks to Fur scoring so much cash with the shoddy kill. What's interesting is going into this, They start buying up. First, gonna hang on to the shotgun. Let's see, where's he pushing? He's gonna start pushing up close towards long A doors, hoping something's gonna happen. Meanwhile, T side setup is gonna have 3 pushing into B tunnels, and it looks like it's gonna be more of a standard round. It's an eco for Coast, gambling for mid control. Fur pushes out, takes draw soul by surprise, and that's even more money for Luminosity. Long range. What am I seeing?
Fur with a 3K auto shotty. I can't help but get hyped up about that. I mean, what is this man doing?
I don't know what
is going on right now? Fur is, oh, wow.
Shotgun, perfectly viable long-range weapon. Perfectly viable.
I'm waiting to see what the chat says about this auto shot. He's still got it. I just don't understand what this young man's doing. Fur looking for more. And he does do it. Fur, another auto shotty kill, but he does elect to pick up the AK here. So
that's enough money, right?
Wow. For 9,700. And we're only in round 5. Oh, but Dumore gets fallen. Nice kill there for them. That's going to help things out. But Fur, one taps him, and he gets him too.
Wow.
He's got 3 kills on the round. This would be absolutely incredible if he could figure out this and ace this round.
You know, Fur got the MSI MVP of the week, 2-3 weeks ago. Walks around the corner, showing exactly why he deserves it again. Gets a 4K. Can he get the ace? That is the question. Dumore around the corner, gets flash.
Wow.
I think that was Fur throwing the flash, scores the headshot, and there it is. Fur, ace kill, and not only that, he is a millionaire with the shotgun kills.
I cannot believe what I just saw. My first ace I've ever commentated, and it was Fur with an auto shotty switching to an AK. A lot of respect for that man right there. Wow, $13,000 in round 6, and they even lost the first round. So Fur, hats off to you, my friend. Great job.
Yeah, Coast put into an eco. Tech 9's in hand, and they're just going to rush straight out towards Cat. Bolt waits for them, gets 1, gets 2. Can he find another one? Starts spraying around and ducks for cover. Fallen backs him up, takes an invert down, gets another one. Stanislaw finally ends Bolt, but now they're down to Stanislaw all alone in a 1v3. If anybody can do this, it is Stanislaw. Caught with the bomb in his hand. He's going to get shut down by none other than our friend Fur. And that's a 5-1 scoreline for Luminosity Gaming. This is their map choice, and they're solid at it. I think it shows.
Yep. Luminosity really riding off that emotion from that last round. I think that's what that was. Stanislaw getting some frags there, which was nice. But now we're going to have a double op setup from T side and CT side on Dust 2. I mean, I could see this being an expensive option, a viable option, obviously, for Luminosity because of all this money that they have. But for Coast, I'm not so sure about this. I mean, a double op setup's what you normally see as CT side because you can, do a lot of things with that, but I don't really understand this T-side strat. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to break down here. Stanislaw Dumore working up mid. Fallen. Will catch them if they come up cat. Nothing really breaking down right now.
Yeah, very slow. Dumore wants to do something pushing outside of the smoke. They're all bunched up at mid. Fallen in a good position to watch. Make sure nothing happens at cat. Fallen, of course, holding on to the op. Big surprise if they choose to push that direction. Invert watching, very slow play. They want to push in to mid. Stanislaw creeping his way out. Flashed out. Bolts peeks the corner, gets 1. Almost gets the 2K. Dumore drops down to 45 health. Finally, Bolt's going to be smoked off. They don't commit, though. Backing off. Bomb wants to go B through tunnels.
Yeah, Fallen, nice job there by him to chill and get back out of there as he's got that angle covered. They've got an idea where he is. Cold. There's one for Cold. He's got 2. He's going for 3, but he's going to get smoked out there. Looks like Drossel threw a nice smoke for him to get out. Cold almost ripped his shoulder off. And Cold's going to actually have an angle about this. He's going to be able to know if they're pushing, and it looks like Team Coast is going to bail, but Fur creeping behind, creeping. Could he get the backstab? The time goes out, but Fur, oh no, he does fall to Drossel. So there's the round there. Team Coast doesn't get it. But they do get a kill on
Well,
Fur there at the end, which is not bad, but Fur's got plenty of money. So
better yet, Coast is able to hang on to their op, which is extremely expensive, very important. And they've got enough guns and they've got enough money to go ahead and force up something, which is decent. And again, we see Luminosity Gaming pulling up this double op setup with Cold and Fallen working in as a team. Last time around, we saw Cold hanging out at the B site, opping so effectively. And again, they're going to switch positions and hold on to B and A, put that stuff on lockdown. Meanwhile, look at mid, completely open. Coast has no way of knowing this at this point. Looks like they're grouping up at A site, and there's Fur playing for intel, playing the delay tactics, going to drop down a molly. Drake pushes the corner. Fur completely blind, sprays down, gets a 2K, and then falls back towards pit.
Fur is playing out of his mind right now. 15 frags for that man right there. Bolt's helping him out with 2. And this is nice job there. Drossel gets the pick mid, though. Opens up mid a little bit. But on the flank is Steel, and Steel should be able to pinch this, and so should Fur. They should know. And Drossel, he's freaking out. He's just getting hit by a lot of angles. And he is going to get out. But he should see Bolts, and Bolts takes him out. So just to give you context on how good Fur is playing, Fur, 15 frags. Steel and Fallen combined have 3 frags.
Worse, more alarmingly, Coast. Look at the frags. 3, 3, 3, 1, and 1. So that's 9, 10, 11 frags total for the entire team. Coast. That's significantly less than Fur's single head. Fur is out-fragging all of Team Coast. 7-1. Coast have only picked up a single round. That's the pistol round. That says something right there. I mean, look at your pistol round. That's really going to come down more towards aiming and shooting than anything else. Once you get into the mid to the late game, it comes down to actual tactics, using different weapons for different purposes, smoking, nading, flashing, all that sort of stuff. When it comes to the tactics on Dust 2, clearly Luminosity on their CT side is large and in charge. Right now, we have a match pause. I'm just guessing that this is going to be a tactical pause called by Team Coast because they've got to do something. They've got to change something.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And right now, I do want to quickly talk about, I know the freeze time just got unpaused, but you know, our player matchup was going to be, we were going to talk about Fur and Stanislaw, and now Stan's a hard carry in the IGL for this Team Coast. And right now, you know, in the last map, he played rather well. Got to give him some credit. Right now, he's only sitting at 3 frags. Then again, everybody else is as well. Fur is a player, before this game, he had a 1.64 pistol headshot rating, which is interesting. And then insanely effective when it is to entry, a 2.0 entry kill ratio. So that's sick for him. And a lot of stuff going on at mid here is Bolts and Fallen. Fallen with 2 already. Fallen wants more. They're just spraying a lot of rounds, but wow, Dumore and Stanislaw open up that B site, and they will get the bomb plant. Ultimately, what they wanted.
Yeah, it looks like they abandoned any sort of fancy slow tactics, and Coast just went for a straight up mid B split, and they take the site very quickly. Nice smoke, and Fur's gonna come walking out. It's actually a bad smoke, and takes the kill. Now Drake all alone, peeks the corner, is able to get 1, able to get 2, and ends it with a 2K, killing out Luminosity. Finally, another point on the board for Team Coast. Absolutely critical. It buys them not only another point on the board on Dust 2, but they're able to get another full buy-in. They haven't quite broken the Luminosity Gaming economy yet, but it's a little more precarious than I would expect. I mean, look at this. Falling down to 1350 because he just keeps having to buy up these ops over and over again. The rest of the teammates are rich, though, so they're still sitting in a real pretty position.
Yep, very good point there, Sabo. Very good point. A lot of props to Drake there with that. P250 doing some work on B side, so he's got to be happy about that. They need more than 2 when they know this. Fallen playing. Fallen gets 1. He's going to throw a grenade and fall back. He's continuing to play back here as he does get the pick and is going to fall back. Is he going to go through this? He does. And he tries to no-scope Drake and gets caught out by Draw, so that was a ballsy play. And mop-up crew Steel and Cold. Now it's a 2v1. And Stanislaw is being the one player, has to finish this out. He gets the AK kill. He gets the first one. And this is a bad spot in a way for Bolts to be in, unless he spots him right now, and he does! Bolts That was huge. It was actually a bad spot for him to be in, considering where the bomb was, but Stanislaw took too long because I think he thought he was mid.
Well, I think Stanislaw made a little bit of noise there, too. He's throwing all those grenades thinking somebody's in mid, and then Bolts is like, oh, you know what? He might be on Xbox. Peeks the corner, and then pow, easy peasy kill. That was, man, that was such a scary round for Luminosity. You see Fallen being absolutely crazy. He's a madman jumping through smoke, doing all this crazy stuff, ends up getting taken out. I thought that might have gone the other way, but absolutely not. Luminosity showing exactly why they are one of the best teams in North America. You talk about how important this game is. Luminosity, they've almost completely secured their spot as with a playoff position. Coast really have to win some sort of a map because they're just trying to hang on to their position in the Pro League. They don't want to drop into relegation, and now Stanislaw all alone on an eco. Not going to happen. They're not in a good position to score a map against Luminosity tonight.
Yeah, big props to these players here for Team Coast and Luminosity. It's awesome to be able to watch Pro Counter-Strike, and, you know, Fallen had a really nice round. That past round there. I can't remember how many kills he had there, but based on the kill feed, but I think he had 2. Nice job there for Fallen on that round. Again, 2 ops here, and I'm all over the place. 2 ops here for CT. Luminosity up 9-2 here, and they've got one of those ops at mid, and the other op, which is with Cold on B site by himself. This is actually very smart, and it's a good way to use a double op setup.
We'll see exactly what Coast is planning on doing this time around. Lots of mid-control. Drake watching to make sure Fur can't peek around the corner. Draw Soul watching B. Steel holding a hard angle. Throwing a grenade. He's going to get shut down. That's Newmore with a 2K, and that's a nice entry on the A site. They're not going to commit to it, though. Instead, backing off, taking their time. 55 seconds on the clock. Absolutely no need to rush on this. Let's make Luminosity Gaming make the first mistake. That's the mindset.
Cold. Did spot that player jumping. A little slow on the reaction time there. It's a really hard shot to hit. It's okay, though, because he's going to fall back into B site and throw fire. Spots Drossel. Doesn't hit the shot. Oh, and he misses again, and he goes down. So Drossel gets him, and now Fallen with that op, and this double op setup, the whole thing got ripped apart. It's Fur and Fallen left in the 2v4 retake. This would be really hard for them to do unless they start picking them apart right now.
Oh, that's tragic. Cole did such a good job, right? He missed the shot at mid. Okay, fine, but he gets the information, is instantly on B site with an op. He's in a perfect position to shut this thing down. Not meant to be. Now you see Fallen walking through with that mile-long gun through window, gets spotted, taken down very fast, and then Drossel mopping up first so quickly. Cole just unable to get into a solid, comfortable position on B site fast enough. And the site quickly goes down. Coast, that's something Coast absolutely needs. Finally getting a 3rd point on the board. It's round 13. They need to carry this all the way to the completion if they want any kind of hope on winning this once they switch over to CT's side. Alex Baum working his way slowly towards mid, possibly towards A. Invert with the initial op shot misses, and it's going to be a slow go of it for Coast.
Slow go of it is, but he did, I think, spot both those players there, so that was good. That's going to help them at least know where those players were early in the round, but they didn't do anything with that information, so they can't be sure now. Invert going to try to spot Fallen here. I think that this could happen if he's not careful. Fallen does go down, and so that's a huge frag for them. The bomb back there outside of A long, Drake is going to be back there to pick it up whenever he needs to. Invert gets another frag. 2 frags for him on the round so far. Nice op play here by Invert. And the 3rd, Invert.
Wow. Okay, Coast suddenly back in this. Moving into the B site. Beautiful picks. That's going to leave Bolts and Fur all alone. If we take a look at the finances for Luminosity, they're actually kind of hurting. I mean, if Bolts and Fur lose their weapons in this round, they could be in trouble, and for that reason, you see Fur already working his way towards the A side. Bolts backing off. They're not even going to get aggressive looking for any kind of picks. Bolts certainly can't lose this off. He's going to take some sort of an angle. Hope somebody happens to walk by the gun, but Luminosity hurting, playing very conservatively at this point. You're going to see the scoreline go 9-4. This has to feel good if you're Coast. Invert, what amazing opping.
Yeah, Invert playing that very, very intelligent And a lot of props to him for getting that pick onto Fallon to kind of open up mid and work his way down there slowly, catching those 2 players out there in lower tunnels. I mean, really nice to see Invert do that. He took his score kill-wise from 2 to 5 in that 1 round, and that's huge for them. As Coast gets 4 rounds right now, looking to get more. And like you said, they need to win out.
I think that's kind of what you need. Like, you need your star players to step up and make some big rounds like that sometimes. Like, if you're a team that's kind of dependent on Invert's off and Stanislaw to come up huge and none of them are doing anything in the game, you start to get kind of down. It's like, well, I'm not doing well, but the stars aren't doing well either, so how could I possibly do it? You can't play like that. You need your stars to step up and do something big. And there you go, Draw Soul, inspired by Invert's play, perhaps walking in, taking Fallen down. Bolts also, that's a sight just like that, gonna fall. Cold and Steel stuck in a bad position. And this is looking like another point on the board for Team Coast.
The bomb is going to go down here, and this is Team Coast just scrapping their way back into this. This is huge for them. Stanislaw.
Wow.
2 kills there at the end. Nice job for him. And they're scrapping their way back in here.
I would say ending 9-6 would be a small victory for Coast on Dust 2, Luminosity's map choice at the end of the first half. Really, on T-side, you ought to be doing a whole lot better than that, but it's something. It gives them some hope that they can turn this thing around. This is exactly what they need. Draw Soul, do more, doing lots of damage. Taking Steel down right through the doors, instantly starting the round with the man advantage. And check out Luminosity's buy. I mean, it's round 15. The best they could muster are now a couple of scouts in fur with that deadly shot. We saw him ace in the past, though, so don't put it past him.
Trying to know he does not catch out Invert there. Invert takes him out, and I think this, I disagree with you a little bit. I think this is huge for them to come back after it being a 9-2. Oh my God, I speak too soon. As Cold gets 2, he wants more. And he doesn't get it, but now it's Bolts and Fallen here. That's just going to be Fallen left in a 1v3. Can he do it? This would be absolutely huge if he could find a way to make this happen, but this is a tall task to ask even this man from Brazil to do. Fallen is reading this correctly, though. Oh. Nope. Ain't gonna happen. Luminosity, 9 rounds. Team Coast 6 rounds. The Team Coast wins the last 4. It was 9-2, and in the concept, in the context of this situation, I think it's absolutely huge for Team Coast to have 6. Now, on the grand scale, I agree with you, but I think for this moment, I think it's absolutely remarkable.
I agree. It's a tremendous moral victory for Team Coast. It's just a shame they can't have just a couple more points on the board. It's very challenging. Now, if Team Coast can take a pistol round right here and take that all the way to the first gun round, then we might see something very, very interesting. Like I said, I like to root for the underdogs. I realize your Geo Lounge odds are ridiculous. 94% in favor of Luminosity Gaming, only 6% in favor of Team Coast. I would fully agree with that, but Team Coast, hats off to them for doing such a good job. Here's your Alpha Draft halftime report and your kill board. I think that kind of tells the tale, right? 16 kills for Fur and Bolts. Of course, Fur with that incredible ace that better be on HLTV, clearly out-fragging the entirety of Team Coast.
Yeah. Pretty much that's all there is to say at halftime. I mean, that, and Coast with that resurgence there, those 4 rounds, was huge for them. They need to win this pistol round, and they need to do this. If they don't, it's going to be hard for them to get their foot in the ground, and they might be able to get their foot in the stand, but it's going to be moving. They've got to be careful. Alex AwesomeSauce, Greenlee. Oh, sorry, Sabo, go ahead. Take it away, man. Oh, wow!
Insane. Insane. Team Coast charges up without fear. They might overextend themselves a little bit, putting us into a 1v1 situation now. Draw Soul, he's already got a 2K down to Draw Soul versus Cold. Draw Soul pushes all the way into T-spawn. Doesn't know where Cold is. Peeking around the corner. Spots him, gets the advantage. Find cover. Get out of there. There you go. 76 health, 88 health. Has bomb control. Misses a couple shots. This is absolutely insane. It all comes down to Draw Soul, the last hope for Coast.
Yeah, the disadvantage here, but here's the problem. Drossel's running out of ammo. He's going to have to switch soon. He's got 3, 2, 1. He's got 1 bullet. This, did he pick up a gun? Drossel did pick up the Glock. so his ammo's reset. But I think Cold wants to finish it off now. He's going for this.
That bullet's
And they're just... Stanislaw just said, "Oh my God," for Team Coast in the voice chat. So there's so much happening here. Who's going to win this race? Drossel going the window. And Cold takes his head off there at the end. But what in the world did we just see?
Cold was almost completely out of ammo at that point, too. That was the ridiculous thing. I mean, it is the endless 1v1, the silver duel of the century happening between two top-level pro players in NA. Absolutely nuts. Cold finally coming out on top. I have not seen a pistol duel like that in the pro league in ages.
Yeah, I mean, Steel with a 4K, also a lot of props to Steel, but Cold comes out of A-Long, does get one. He's getting more. He's got two. He wants the Mech 10 triple. He gets it, and he does get it done, and now it's Stanislaw left by himself. Yep. He goes down fur with a 2K. Nice job there. And, when I played with Cold, a couple days ago with the Deagle, I was so impressed by his Deagle play. Can't criticize the guy at all because, in that moment, stuff happens, and, you get a lot of adrenaline in that 1v1 when there's a lot of stuff on the line there, especially that pistol round. But good job by him to close it out. And now they do another round here, and so now it's 11-6 here. But Team Coast force buys. Yeah.
Possibly questionable decision because Luminosity already has so much cash. They're not really going to turn this thing around, but Luminosity, they didn't buy out. So they actually start this round with the gun advantage. Stanislaw working the shotgun. That could be absolutely huge if he could just get a couple of shots. We saw how effective that was in Fur's hands, but Stanislaw's not playing this forward pushed up position at all. Bomb working its way towards Cat with a 3-man push. Steel's going to be lagging behind. Invert's completely blind, so he has the mostly give up sight. Drossel picks 1 kill, and that's a good delay tactic. Cold might catch Drossel off guard. Doesn't happen. Drossel ready for it with the FAMAS. And this buy is really working out positively for Coast. Watch do more. Yep.
Yeah, Fallen left by himself here. This is going to be near impossible for him to do. And he does go down. Coast, all 5 survive. And the second we questioned it, they do it.
Well, that was really, really critical. I mean, they were banking on the fact that Luminosity wasn't going to go ahead and upgrade their weapons at that point. 3rd round, you wouldn't expect that to happen at all. And they walk in with the gun advantage and dominate. Herein lies the problem. Team Coast, very low on cash. They have to stick with the weapons they bought last round, which is pretty much set with all FAMASs. Luminosity still able to buy. They got the AKs. They've got the AWP. It's a gun advantage. Luminosity doesn't have a lot of options in terms of grenades, so once they pick a site, they're going to have to commit to it. And Team Coast, the only thing they can hope is to repel that initial push and force them to re-push without grenades. Looks like the bomb wants to go towards Cat. Let's see how Stanislaw holds this thing off.
Actually, this round's going very slow. I think Luminosity's playing this a little bit slower than they have earlier because they just lost that round, the 3rd round. And but they did still have enough to be able to buy fully here, so this is good. Now, not a lot of utilities, but enough to be able to do something, and I think they're going to try to do a Cat hit.
Yeah, it looks like they show no signs of backing off. Stanislaw watching this corner. Let's see exactly what he can do. Stanislaw's got 1 molly, no smoke, so he can't do any of these weird smoke tactics at Goose. 2 flashes, though. If he times it just right and works together with Invert, he could go full shutdown mode. There you go, there's the push! And Invert instantly shut down. Stanislaw alone. Flash. Ooh. Doesn't blind Fur. Shut down fast. A-site. Falling.
And this round is going to go in favor of Luminosity. 12-7 here as they win that round. Team Coast winning the round before that. A lot of props to them. The problem is they didn't have enough to really upgrade, and they couldn't afford it. And now they're forced into a situation where they could buy again, but they should probably save. And they are going to do that.
Yeah, it's like you can force buy a couple of times to try to break the economy of the other team, but you can't just keep on doing it over and over again because your chances of success are so low. One thing to point out about Luminosity's push-up Cat that round, notice how they push most of them up closer to Stanislaw pushing on Goose, but they left one way back who wouldn't actually get flashed, who was able to take Stanislaw out. That was Fur. Smart play, and now you're going to see hard push on A site. The gun advantage. That's all that is right there.
Yeah, Drake and Invert by themselves here. This is a very hard task for them to do, and it'd be very nice if they could do it, but with a 5-7 and Invert, with the AK and no armor, this is going to be hard. Still kind of whiffs that nade. Not really a big deal. And
Drake.
Yeah, they're just gonna Drake's gonna play for exits here, I think. This 5-7 now. Obviously, Inver's gonna want to take that AK.
Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. May as well try and do something. He's able to do something. Take Cold down. That's a moral victory. He picks up the AK. Wants to save it. He actually gets spotted by Steel, but he's going to back off into B tunnel. Steel doesn't have enough time to push the issue and get the kill. So that's actually pretty good. You got a 2K for Drake. That's going to be a little bit of cash for the team. They've got enough money from losing 2 rounds in a row, and they get 2 AK-47s for free. Invert picks up the op, and they've got all the grenades they need to do a solid defense. And boy, they need to do something. Scoreline 13-7. Coast really can't afford to give up another round.
No, they cannot. Stanislaw looking for that pick. Stanislaw underperforming a little bit here. He's only got 7 kills so far on this map, and Drake right there with him with 7. And like you said, when that tripod struggles, they really struggle. And Fur is going to throw fire. This is a B split, a nice B split at that. It's going to get the attention of these B players. On to this split here happening. Fur and Cold get in there, get the job done. Steel gets a kill onto A. And this is just going to be an easy round win for Luminosity, as that split was really uncontested, and they got it done. Stanislaw with that op, left by himself.
After the timeout, this was the exact same tactic that worked so effectively for Team Coast, just doing a full-on charge, mid to B split, and this time the tables are turned. Luminosity Gaming turns it around and just hits mid to B just like that. Falls apart. Team Coast, victim of their own medicine. That's fine, though. 14-7. They're going to do a forced buy. It's all they can do. This time, interesting, on Mirage, they chose to play for the tie. This time, play for the win. 14-7. CZ's in hand. They're going to have to do something weird. Pushing up hard towards 10. Can they catch for off guard? Not meant to be. 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, Coast in a good spot here if they can be careful, but unfortunately, Stanislaw does go down for them, and now it's a 3v3, and this is going to favor Luminosity, especially now that Drossel died. If Drake gets picks from Steel, this would be huge. They do spot him, and yeah, they're going to get A site now because they know that player's on B. They're booking it. Now it's Drake to close this out so they can prevent having pretty much no money. They'll have some, but not very much. He's got to fight with Steel.
Yeah, it's not meant to be. Such a terrible position to be in. Yeah, he gets the pick. He takes Steel down. That's great. Putting him into a 1v2 situation. But you can't really expect to take the fight to Bolts and Fallen when they've got bomb control. You see Fallen just trying to take the M4 out of his hands, just increasing the chances of making this into a 16-7 score line. And he's going to go for the save. Bolts creeping around towards window. This is going to be ugly for Drake. Oh no.
Oh.
Please don't. Yep. Caught in the back, and Drake goes down. That's pretty much the end of it for Coast.
And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, for this best of 2 to be won by LG. Right now, they need to close it out. They've got everything they need to do it. And then we have Team Coast with 3 sets of full armor, 2 sets of body armor, a Scout, M4, Mag 7 CZ, and a Deagle. This would be absolutely huge if they could get this round. These players cross before Bolts, and that's a huge factor here as Invert gets that pick with that Scout.
Yeah, that's an important pick. Falling with the bomb. He's going to take Invert down. Now they have eyes on bomb. Fur just flashes, walks around the corner door like it's nothing. Takes the kill. Look at Cold. He's so aggressive walking through the smoke. He's going to pay the ultimate price for that. Dumore gets the kill. It's a 2v2 situation. The guns were picked up. The armor's in the hands of Team Coast. This is perfectly winnable round for Coast. They've even got bomb control too.
Fur. A decent nade, but it doesn't do much. And now Dumore. But the thing is that Steel is really concerned about mid. He doesn't know where this other player is. They know Dumore's there with that op. Uh-oh. I think he's going to flash in. He is. He's going to go for it, but he doesn't see him. He's a little confused. He doesn't know Fur's right there. He's suspecting it, though, and he's got this nice angle.
Nice.
He gets that one, and this is going to be hard for Steele. This is a bad spot for the bomb to be in.
Almost the worst conceivable spot in this corner. Stanislav finally goes down. Steele, beautiful flash grenade. He's going to shut 2 more down. He's completely blind. Steele walks the corner and is able to pick off the easy kill just as the flash starts to fade away, making it 16-7. Got a little scary there. Looked like Team Coast had a little bit more life in them. But honestly, with the scoreline the way it was at that point, with such a bad T side for Team Coast, it was honestly quite hopeless. They, you know what I like, though? They didn't give up. Like, they never gave up hope. They fought the good fight all the way to the bitter end. 16-7 scoreline, 2-0 loss, whatever. They fought a good fight against Luminosity, one of the best teams in NA for sure.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Team Coast in that fight. You know, they just didn't have as good of a game against them on Dust 2 as they did on Mirage, but they did fight back, and that's the important factor here. Is with a team like that, you know, obviously trying to fight, not getting into relegation, although they did lose the best of 2, a lot of respect for them to be able to put up a fight against, you know, one of the better teams in North America. So good job for them. And if you take a look at everything else and consider all these factors here, you know, do more top fragging there for that team and Team Coast there, and Fur 24, and Fur just had a huge game on Dust 2. I mean, clearly, in my opinion, the MVP of that game, just monster plays by him. And that ace was absolutely huge. I mean, that auto kill, then gets the AK in lower B, and then runs around, headshots every single player after that. I can't remember if the first kill with the shotgun was a headshot. Kind of irrelevant because
one of
the spray pattern.
One of them was.
But,
one of them
okay,
was.
Well, in that case, then he must have got a 5 headshot ace.
It was absolutely insane. Yeah, hats off to Fur for that play. I expect to see some sort of a frag clip of that because it was absolutely nuts. Interesting thing about Coast before we cut to a break here is the fact that by losing that 13, 12, 11, the best that Coast can do at the end of the season when they close this thing out is going to be 11 points total. So unless CLG just completely fails out for the rest of the season, the playoff bracket is completely unwinnable by Coast. And at this point, the only thing they're playing for is to stay out of relegation, which they're in very much danger of doing in the future. So we'll have to watch them in the weeks to come and see whether or not they stay in the Pro League or they get dropped into relegation. Alex, up next, we've got a much closer game. Can you tell us about that one?
I can tell you guys about that one. We've got Method versus 3-Sup, and that's going to be a little bit different here from these teams, as we've got excuse me, a lot to talk about. We've got Method, who's played very well recently. They've got 9 points so far in the season for us, and then 3-Sup's got 7 points. Not bad for them. We're going to talk about Silent Area. We're going to talk about Toy. We're going to compare him to Kiko, the 2 newer members of both of these squads, and then we're going to make predictions. We've got a lot to talk about this matchup.
Indeed. Stay tuned for that. Method 3-Sup, really close game coming up. We'll get on with the pregame show once the teams get checked in and we start getting into the vetoes. Stay tuned. Congrats to Luminosity Gaming, and we'll be right back after this.